Draghi always says some good things and bad things, and then 6 months later he points all the things that panned out and says, hey, we were right and everything is going to be great. Ultimately, Draghi would love to have a weaker euro. At least that was a Draghi from a year ago, in order to boost exports and growth. Then he noticed, oh, that only helps Germany. And so now he tries it with optimism, and saying, hey, everything looks great. Look at all these positive numbers. And maybe by spreading optimism, it's going to translate into real growth, just as Mr. Trump in the US is able to increase the real growth expectations simply because of talk, even as the actual sausage making and changing the laws might be much, much more difficult. So I think that Europe has always had problems, will always have problems, but it's always a question of what is priced in, and there's so much pessimism with regard to the euro. And as I indicated in the earlier segment, the dollar has risen for so many years that I do think it's time for the euro to have a comeback, and other currencies such as the Swedish crown. The one currency, by the way, I'm negative in that segment is the sterling. I happen to think that the Brits are going to have a very tough time in the years ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about what's happening over in the UK, because the British economy has proven to be a lot more resilient than sort of the doom and gloom scenario that was painted in the immediate aftermath of Brexit. As you say, the pound sterling has stayed above that $1.20 threshold, but how big of a market mover do you expect the actual triggering of Article 50 to be?
Well, that itself might be a non-event, but the big issue that I have with the UK is that they don't have sustainable finances. Under the austerity plan before, they had bad deficits, and now they're going to have horrendous deficits, and that's not going to change. So I ultimately see the UK go down the path that Italy used to be on, meaning that they have deficit spending and they'll have a cascading weaker currency in order to finance that. And yes, you can run a country like that, but you may not want to hold the currency in that sort of environment.